Welcome you now to another episode of the Global Land Factor podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. I'm your host, Crispin Valentin. Make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. Why? Because you have nothing to lose and so much to gain. And not only that, not only do we talk, we bring receipts. Now, quick disclaimer before we start this episode. I am not an attorney. I am not a financial advisor in the sense, and I'm also not a policy professional. In this episode, is about education, conversation only, and I'm sharing everything with you in good faith using public available resources. So please do yourself a favor, do your own research, talk to a qualified professional. If you need legal financial advice, please also do as well and clarify, okay? Today, we are talking about something that people still miss and underestimate. Latinos are an economic powerhouse, period. An economic powerhouse, period. I am going to show you why by using numbers, not just hype, not just over-exaggerated, but actual data. Latinos aren't just a minority market. We are a growth engine, and the data proves it. So, here's a big picture. Are you ready for the big pictures? Yes, you are. People love to reduce us to just food and music, but Latinos are workforce, we are consumers, we are spending, we are business growth, and the future of American economy. So here are the stats that make people wondering what's going on. According to UCLA in 2025, U.S. Latinos GDP report, the U.S. Latino economic output hit $4.1 trillion in 2023. Let me repeat that. I said it before in the previous episode, $4.1 trillion. That's not just a community. That's an entire economy in the world spectrum. And also UCLA said that Latino consumption research 2.7 trillion in 2023. So when somebody acts like Latinos are just taking, you can calmly say, we are producing, we are buying, and we are driving growth. Now, the workforce, so you might not underestimate, and the workforce is taking over some of the boomers. So here's the actual data. Now, that part that a lot of people don't really want to talk about, who's actually working. So the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics said in 2023, Hispanics are 19% of the U.S. civilian labor workforce. That is 31.8 million people. And the BLS said Hispanic labor force growth has been huge, 69% increase since 2003, and about 2/3 of the net labor force increase between 2003 and 2023. So when you see the industry moving to your neighborhood, growing, new demands everywhere, that's because the labor is required. Now, that's connection, and that's labor, and that's the reality of the numbers. So how much the power of Latino, the market buying power, why brands cannot ignore Latinos. Now, let's talk about why brands chase our attention. Yes, they are chasing us because money follows growth. Once again, money follows growth. The Latino Donor Collaborative report, Latinos purchasing power, reached $4.1 trillion, I mentioned earlier, in 2023. The NielsenIQ listed the NielsenIQ Hispanic shoppers represent $2.7 trillion of spending power contribution. That's 23% of the U.S. total growth. That's not nice. That is strategic. We are doing the numbers. Now, that means if companies want growth, they study Latino households, because we aren't just spending, we are driving the increase and the growth in the economy. Okay, so let's just show you examples of some brands that actually cater to Latinos and look for it. T-Mobile has said out loud, Latinos represent more than 25% of our customer base, their customer base. That is their words from their company report that they announced. So when people ask, why do brands invest in Latino market? That's because we are not a niche. We are a major piece of their business. And when the company is telling you 1 out of every 4 customer is Latino, then of course that's just not politics. That is just mathematics. That makes sense for them. That is the increase of their business. They're a company at the end of the day. When Latino spending shifts, then Wall Street feels it. Feels every single thing. Now, what does the power look like? That's not just an opinion. That's not just a vibe. That's actual revenue. And this is also why you see Spanish language ads, bilingual packaging, cultural campaigns, and celebrity partnerships, community incentives as well. That's because they know. And you can't deny the power of our purchasing power. It's not just random, it's market reality. Now, the NFL sees this. They are saying it out loud nowadays because obviously you know who's going to be performing at the Super Bowl. Conejito Malo, check out the episode we did on him. Now, let's talk about sports because people always say, do they even care about Latinos? Well, they care. They care about the bottom line and they care about their dollars. So let's not get it confused. The NFL has season-long campaigns called Por la Cultura, celebrating Latino fans, players, culture. That's from the NFL's own operations site. And here's something even deeper. You ready? The McKinsey published research using Nielsen data that says Latinos account for only 11% of watch hours of the MLB, NBA, NFL, and NHL broadcaster, below roughly 20% of their share population. Meaning what? Meaning leagues see room for growth in Latino viewership and loyalty. This is all business. You can say whatever you want, but it is what it is. So, yes, you will keep seeing Latino heritage campaigns, Spanish content, Latino community programs, and cultures forward storytelling because the biggest brands on earth don't chase shrinkage markets that are shrinking. They chase growth. And guess whose growth? Latinos are. Retail power. And what drives us into the store? Well, let's talk about the groceries and everyday spending. Like CPG, consumer packaging goods, that's what it stands for. Circana reports Hispanic consumers are fueling 60% of the total U.S. CPG growth. Circana also says that Hispanics make more than $180 billion in CPG purchasing annually, about 14% of the total market, and gain 60% of CPG growth. So, if someone says, why do companies even cater to? Oh, it's not catering. No, it's not. It's business. It's business in general, and it makes sense because if you want growth in America, you cannot ignore the consumers who are driving the large share of their growth, which is Latinos, which is our power. So let's get into just a little bit of the quick immigration kind of confusion. To get clarity, sometimes people say, and it gets mixed up. So let me clear it up for you. This is not legal advice. This is just a clear language of what happens. When people talk about crossing, they act like one single thing. But just to put it more basic understanding, it helps to think of like 3 buckets in order for you to make it sense. Bucket number 1, port of entry. CBP says people seeking entry are inspected at an official port of entry. Bucket number 2, between ports, no inspection, that's entering without being or going through an inspection process. And bucket number 3, overstaying. USCIS says unlawful presence, including time in the U.S. without being admitted or parole. So overall, just basic what it means is you are all admitting that you are overstaying the time that you were allowed. So here's the clean line that keeps it accuracy. Now, removal is a civil immigration process, but proper entry can be persecuted under federal law like 8 USC 1325. So don't let people just twist the language. There's reason. The reason I'm saying this is because it creates confusion and is used to weaponize the verbiage over and over again, as you can tell on some particular networks. And I don't like that. I don't like it. So again, 3 buckets: inspected entry, no inspection, and overstay. Most argue and mix that, all get it confused, and it's not cool. So let me just land this plane real quick. Latinos aren't coming. We are already here. UCLA says the U.S. Latino GDP hit 4.1 trillion in 2025. UCLA says Latinos consumption hit 2.7 trillion in 2023. LCD says Latino purchasing power is 4.1 trillion. BLS says the Hispanics are 19% of the labor force, 31.8 million in 2023, and the NFL literally runs Por la Cultura campaigns. That's not politics. That's just plain math, simple mathematics, and that's just what it is. Now, for somebody that thinks Latinos are small, we are not. They are paying attention. Businesses know what we are capable of. Again, if you think that we're not, and if you think that we're not creating something, just stay tuned, because we are. If you would like part 2, I break down the Latino entrepreneurs, business owners, and wealth building, common power, and I will hit you with number 2. Once again, this is the Global Latin Factor podcast. If you are enjoying this episode, if you're enjoying the content that we're putting out, if you are a Latino, once again, common power to see number 2. And remember, before I let you go, 4.1 trillion of the workforce in the market that is currently growing. We are not coming anywhere. We are already here, and you can tell by all the businesses. Now, if you have beef with anybody, and if you do not like what I'm saying, take it out with the corporations, take it out with the companies. They see the potential. They are not dumb. They are absolutely not dumb. They are literally seeing the numbers and seeing the potential, and that they cannot deny the market that is already here, and they will miss out on money, specifically all the single brands that continuously every single year, month after month, Hispanic heritage are highly celebrated for the same reason. So you cannot deny our presence. And once again, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel right now, the Global Latin Factor podcast. Big shout out going out to every single one of you that listen to our audio. Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying the shorter, smaller podcasting that we are putting out, and important information. And if this hit anywhere close to your heart, if you feel that this is important, please share with somebody that will be beneficial. Again, sometimes it's kind of hard for you to change somebody's belief because that's their belief. You're literally kind of slapping their face because that's their identity. But it never hurts to try to send it to somebody that might be able to see something else. And remember, once again, this is data that is available fairly online, and this is also some of my opinions. So I highly recommend for you as an individual to, if you see a clip of anything, if you see the news, question everything and do your own research, and further search 2 or 3 data points that you'll be able to make a conclusive decision for yourself. Literally, sometimes when you're talking to some people, they're literally regurgitating things that are consistently ran on some networks. And it's like, wow, are you serious? You're not able to take just a few minutes of your time having a phone in your hand that literally you can search anything in the world to be able to better influence, better educate yourself, instead of like regurgitating, saying, repeating word by word, almost cadence by cadence, whatever is getting ran on some type of news and some type of what it looks like a news setup, but it's not even a news, it's opinion. It's opinion based. So please see a clip. If it sparks your curiosity, get your phone out, research some things. They got so many AI tools now. Be very conscious about that as well. But You have the power in your hands to be able to be more informed and not literally regurgitate some things that you don't even understand. It's so easily just to say it because somebody that looks like an authority figure said it, like myself right now, but that doesn't mean that it could be factual. So I double dare you to go ahead and research, fact check me as well. Send me some feedback so I can better be educated myself, because I am the most beautiful thing that Misael said in the last episode was the beautiful power of you. The only thing that you need to learn and knowledge is not to know. Not to know opens the possibility to be able to know a whole lot more. And I encourage you, again, if you just don't feel like this is some of the information is accurate, please do show yourself. Tell me how to pronounce it. I'd be happy to be able to encourage growth for myself and be able to be more articulate and more informative to help influence my community, which again is a superpower. And once again, thank you so much for joining another episode of the Global Land Factor podcast. Remember to subscribe right now. Why? You have nothing to lose and so much to gain, so much amazing knowledge of amazing individuals that come and join the podcast. And remember, we are just like you. We are people. We are the spice and flavor in this melting pot that it is the world. Till next time. Bye.